People always ask me how I stayed so calm when my entire world exploded. The truth? I wasn't calm, I was volcanic. But here's what nobody tells you about betrayal. The moment you discover it, you have a choice. You can either let it destroy you, or you can channel every ounce of that rage into something productive. My name is Thomas Anderson, and I'm 34 years old. When I walked into my home office and found my wife Jasmine straddling my business partner Derek on my desk, I chose the latter. And when she attacked me 3 months later with a knife, realizing her gold-digging scheme had completely backfired, well, that was just the universe handing me a gift-wrapped ending. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, someone who saw you as nothing more than a bank account with a heartbeat, then you know exactly what I'm about to tell you. Some people deserve everything that's coming to them. But let me start from the beginning. Before I go any further, let me know in the comments where in the world you are watching from, and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow I will share a story you don't want to miss. I built my software company from nothing. 14-hour days, maxed credit cards, ramen dinners, the whole entrepreneur cliché. By 34, I'd finally made it. 7-figure contracts, a house in the suburbs, and a wife I thought loved me. Jasmine and I had been married for 6 years. No kids. She always said she wasn't ready, which I respected. What I didn't know was that she was never planning on being ready. I came home early on a Tuesday. Some client call got canceled, and I figured I'd surprise Jasmine, maybe take her to that Italian place she liked. The one with the outdoor seating where she always ordered the carbonara and complained it wasn't as good as the place we went to on our honeymoon. But she smiled when she said it, so I never minded. I walked through the front door, heard noises from my home office. Not alarming noises, just voices, laughter. I opened the door. Jasmine was on top of Derek Hansen, my business partner of 8 years, right there on my mahogany desk. Papers everywhere, her dress bunched around her waist, his hands on her hips. They didn't even notice me at first. "Jasmine," I said. My voice came out dead calm, clinical. She screamed and scrambled off him. Derek went pale, fumbling with his belt. "Thomas, this isn't," Jasmine started. "Don't," I cut her off. "Don't insult me with excuses." "It just happened," she tried again, pulling her dress down. "We didn't mean—" "How long?" I asked, looking at Derek now. 8 years of partnership, late nights building the business. I'd trusted this man with my company, my livelihood. "Thomas, man, listen," he stammered. "How long?" Jasmine's face shifted then. The panic faded, replaced by something harder, colder. 2 years, she said flatly. 2 years. 2 years of lies. 2 years of coming home to a woman who kissed me hello while planning God knows what behind my back. "Get out," I told Derek. "Thomas, we should talk about the business," he started. "Get the fuck out of my house before I throw you out." He left, practically ran. Jasmine stood there, arms crossed now. The guilty wife routine had evaporated. "So, what now?" she asked. "You going to yell? Cry? Throw things?" "No," I said. "I'm going to divorce you." She laughed. Actually, laughed. "Fine. My lawyer will be in touch. Hope you're ready to write some big checks, Thomas. California's a community property state, remember?" That's when I understood. This wasn't just an affair. This was calculated. "You've been planning this," I said. "Planning what?" "I don't have to plan anything. The law's on my side." She grabbed her purse from the chair. "You built that company during our marriage. I'm entitled to half. Plus alimony, of course. I've gotten accustomed to a certain lifestyle. You never loved me." "Love?" She turned back, smirking. "Grow up, Thomas. You were a good investment. Smart, driven, too busy building your little empire to notice what was happening right under your nose. But now that the empire's built, time to cash out." My hands clenched. "You miscalculated." "Oh, really? How's that?" "Because you forgot one thing. I'm smarter than you, and I don't lose." She rolled her eyes. "Tough talk from a man who just got cuckolded in his own office. See you in court." She walked out, left me standing there in my office, my desk still warm from her betrayal. I didn't yell, didn't break anything. Instead, I picked up my phone and called Kevin Sanders, the best divorce attorney in the state. Kevin met me at his office that same Tuesday evening, 9 p.m. downtown in one of those buildings where the lights stay on long after everyone else has gone home. His office was all dark wood and leather chairs, walls lined with law books that actually looked used. He was 50-something, silver-haired, with the kind of sharp eyes that missed nothing. The kind of eyes that had seen every dirty trick in the book and invented a few new ones. "Tell me everything," he said, gesturing to the chair across from his desk. I did. The affair. Derek on my desk. 2 years of lies. Jasmine's smirk when she told me about community property laws, about cashing out, about how I'd been nothing but a good investment. Kevin took notes the whole time, his pen moving in quick, precise strokes. "She's right about California being a community property state," he said when I finished. His voice was calm, measured. "But that doesn't mean she gets to waltz away with half your business. We need to build a case, prove she married you under false pretenses, document the affair comprehensively, and most importantly, we need to protect your assets." "How?" "First, we need evidence, lots of it." "When did you start the company?" 8 years ago, 4 years before I married Jasmine. Kevin's eyes lit up. "Excellent. That gives us premarital assets to work with. The growth during the marriage is trickier, but we can argue for unequal division based on her infidelity and bad faith." He leaned forward. "Thomas, I need you to understand something. This isn't going to be easy, and it's not going to be fast. But if we do this right, if we build an airtight case, we can protect what's yours. Whatever it takes." "Good. I'll need you to gather every financial document you have. Bank statements, tax returns, business records, everything from before the marriage and during." Over the next 2 weeks, I became a detective in my own life. Kevin connected me with Morgan Wright, a forensic accountant who specialized in divorce cases. She was mid-40s, professional, with the kind of meticulous attention to detail that made her perfect for the job. "I need you to go through everything," I told her, handing over boxes of financial records. "Everything?" "Every transaction, every account. I want to know where every dollar went." It took her a week. When she called me back to her office, she had that look, the one people get when they've found something big. "Your wife's been busy," Morgan said, spreading bank statements across her desk. "Small transfers, nothing you'd notice month to month. $50 here, $100 there. But over 2 years," she pointed to a highlighted total, "nearly $80,000. My chest tightened. "Where?" "Secret account in her name only. Opened 3 years ago." Morgan pulled up more documents. "She's been very careful. The amounts were small enough not to trigger any alerts, spread out just enough to avoid pattern recognition." "What was she buying?" Morgan slid over another stack of papers. "Luxury purchases, designer handbags, jewelry, spa treatments, hotel rooms." "This is financial infidelity," she said, "and it's going to present very well in divorce court." I also hired Nelson Parker, a private investigator Kevin recommended. Nelson was nondescript in that useful way, the kind of guy you'd never remember seeing. "I need you to follow my wife," I told him, "her and Derek Hansen. I want proof they're still together." "How much proof?" "Everything you can get." Nelson was thorough. He called me every few days with updates. Hotel receipts from the Ritz, restaurant bills from places I'd never taken Jasmine to, photographs of them together, laughing, kissing, her hand on his arm as they walked into yet another expensive dinner. "Your wife's confident," Nelson told me 2 weeks in, showing me the latest batch of photos. "Jasmine and Derek at some rooftop bar, champagne glasses raised. She's not even trying to hide it anymore." "She thinks she's already won," I said. "Has she met Kevin Sanders?" I smiled grimly. "Not yet." By the end of those 2 weeks, Kevin had everything. We met at his office again, late on a Friday evening. "We're ready," he said, spreading the compiled evidence across his conference table. Photographs of Jasmine and Derek. Bank statements showing the secret account. Morgan's detailed breakdown of the $80,000. Hotel receipts, restaurant bills, a timeline of the affair stretching back 2 full years. "This is comprehensive," Kevin continued. "Affair documentation, financial infidelity, evidence of fraud. We file tomorrow morning." I looked at the evidence. 2 years of my life, laid out in paper and photographs. 2 years of lies. "Do it," I said. Kevin nodded. "Tomorrow, we strike." 3 weeks after I'd found Jasmine on my desk with Derek, Kevin filed the divorce papers. I was in his office when he did it, watching him click through the electronic filing system. The document was comprehensive. Every photograph, every bank statement, every hotel receipt, all of it attached as exhibits. "And we're filed," Kevin said, leaning back in his chair. Emergency order for asset protection included. Now we wait for Gabriel Jensen to call. You think he'll call today? Kevin smiled. I'd give it 20 minutes. He was wrong. It took 15. Kevin's phone rang and he put it on speaker. Kevin Sanders. Kevin, it's Gabriel Jensen. I just received your filing, and frankly, I'm disappointed. Your client is overreaching. How so? The affair is irrelevant. California's a no-fault state. You know that. Kevin's expression didn't change. The affair establishes a pattern of deception, Gabriel. Combined with the financial infidelity, $80,000 hidden in unauthorized accounts, it demonstrates bad faith. My client is entitled to protection from further misconduct. My client has a right to half the marital assets. Your client stole marital assets, Kevin said calmly. She's lucky we're not filing criminal charges. There was a pause. We'll see you in court. The line went dead. Well, Kevin said, that went about as expected. The first hearing was scheduled for 2 weeks later. Judge Clara Whitmore presiding, a woman in her 60s who Kevin told me had a reputation for being tough but fair. She doesn't suffer fools, he warned me, and she doesn't like games. Good. I arrived at the courthouse early. Kevin met me outside carrying a briefcase full of evidence. Ready? He asked. Let's end this. Jasmine showed up 10 minutes later in a designer dress, probably bought with my money. She'd done her makeup carefully, eyes already red-rimmed like she'd been crying, playing the wronged wife. I remembered how she used to practice expressions in the mirror before company events, perfecting the right look for the right moment. Gabriel Jensen was with her, a tall guy in his 40s wearing an expensive suit. He nodded at Kevin. Kevin didn't nod back. We filed into the courtroom. Judge Whitmore entered and we all stood. Be seated, she said, settling into her chair. This is the matter of Anderson versus Anderson. Counsel, state your appearances. Kevin Sanders for the petitioner. Thomas Anderson, Your Honor. Gabriel Jensen for the respondent. Jasmine Anderson. Mr. Sanders, this is your petition. What are we here for today? Kevin stood. Your Honor, this is not a typical dissolution of marriage. Mrs. Anderson engaged in a systematic pattern of deception spanning multiple years, including an extramarital affair with Mr. Anderson's business partner and secret financial accounts containing $80,000 in marital funds. Gabriel jumped up. Your Honor, California is a no-fault state. My client's personal relationships are not— I'm aware of California law, Mr. Jensen, Judge Whitmore interrupted. Mr. Sanders, what are you asking for? Protection of my client's premarital business assets and an unequal division of community property based on Mrs. Anderson's misconduct. We're also requesting she return the $80,000 immediately. That money was for household expenses, Jasmine blurted out. Judge Whitmore looked at her coolly. Mrs. Anderson, you'll have your opportunity to speak through counsel. Gabriel put a hand on Jasmine's arm, whispering urgently. Kevin pulled documents from his briefcase. Your Honor, we have bank statements showing regular transfers to a secret account. We have hotel receipts for liaisons with Mr. Hansen. We have evidence of luxury purchases, jewelry, spa treatments, designer goods, all hidden from Mr. Anderson while she claimed to support his business endeavors. He handed the documents to the clerk, who passed them to Judge Whitmore. She reviewed them. Her expression hardened. Mr. Jensen, your client has some explaining to do. I'm granting the emergency protection order for the business assets pending further discovery. Mrs. Anderson, you're ordered to provide a full accounting of the $80,000 within 10 days. We'll reconvene in 30 days for a status conference. Jasmine's face went red. This is bullshit. Mrs. Anderson, Judge Whitmore's voice cracked like a whip. Control yourself, or I'll hold you in contempt. Gabriel grabbed Jasmine's arm harder this time, practically pulling her back into her seat. Anything else, counsel? Judge Whitmore asked. No, Your Honor, Kevin said. We're adjourned. Outside the courtroom, Jasmine cornered me in the hallway. Gabriel tried to stop her, but she shook him off. You son of a bitch, she hissed. You think you're so smart? I think I'm protecting what's mine. Half of that company is mine. I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I'd thought I loved, the woman who'd seen me as nothing but a paycheck. You were fucking my business partner on my desk, I said quietly. You stole $80,000, and you married me for money. The only thing you're getting is whatever the judge forces me to give you, and I promise you, it won't be half. We'll see, she said. My lawyer's going to destroy you. Good luck with that. I walked away. Behind me, I felt her glare burning into my back, pure hatred in those eyes that used to look at me with fake affection. The legal battle had officially begun. The morning after the courthouse confrontation, my phone rang at 7 a.m. Kevin. "Morning," I answered, still groggy. "Hope you slept well," he said, "because the next 2 months are going to be brutal." I sat up, rubbing my eyes. "What's happening?" "Gabriel filed his discovery requests last night. He wants every document related to your business. Financial statements, tax returns, contracts, emails, meeting notes, everything going back 8 years. That's thousands of documents. I know. We'll get Morgan on it. But understand something, Thomas. This is warfare now. Gabriel's going to dig through every piece of paper looking for ammunition. He'll grill you for hours in depositions. He'll try to make you look like you're hiding assets or undervaluing the company." I swung my legs out of bed. "What's our counter?" "We request everything from Jasmine. Every bank statement, every credit card purchase, every text message with Derek, every receipt. We build a timeline of her deception and make it impossible for any judge to give her a dime." "How long will this take?" 2 months minimum, maybe 3. It's going to get ugly. He wasn't wrong. The next 8 weeks were hell. Gabriel requested documents daily. Morgan worked 16-hour days pulling financial records, organizing spreadsheets, preparing valuations. My business partner, well, ex-partner, Derek had already sold me his share and fled to Arizona, which made things easier. At least I didn't have to deal with his cowardly face anymore. Kevin countered every request with 10 of his own. Jasmine's spending records, her phone logs, her emails, the secret account statements, hotel receipts, everything. Then came the depositions. Mine was first. 6 hours in a windowless conference room with Gabriel, Jasmine, Kevin, and a court reporter who typed every word. Gabriel started friendly enough. "Mr. Anderson, when did you start your company?" 8 years ago. "And you were married to Mrs. Anderson for 6 of those years, correct?" "Unfortunately." "Objection," Gabriel said. "Move to strike." "It's a deposition, counselor," Kevin interjected. "He can answer however he wants." Gabriel's jaw tightened. "During those 6 years, did your company grow?" "Yes." "Significantly?" "Yes." "Would you say your wife supported you during this growth period?" I couldn't help it. I laughed. It came out bitter and sharp. "Supported me?" "She spent the money I earned while sleeping with my business partner. If that's support, sure." "Mr. Anderson, you asked the question," I said. "That's the answer." Gabriel tried a different angle. "Did your wife host business dinners?" "Occasionally." "Attend company events?" "Yes." "Support you emotionally during stressful times?" I stared at Jasmine. She wouldn't meet my eyes. She just sat there, hands folded on the table, looking at the wall. "You mean the support she gave me while she was sleeping with Derek?" I asked. "That kind of support?" "Your Honor," Gabriel started. "There's no judge here," Kevin said smoothly. "Just answer the questions, Thomas." It went on like that for 6 hours, Gabriel trying to paint Jasmine as a supportive spouse who deserved compensation. Me reminding everyone exactly what kind of support she'd provided. 2 weeks later, it was Jasmine's turn. Kevin was merciless. We sat in the same conference room. Jasmine looked smaller somehow, less confident. Her designer dress couldn't hide the worry in her eyes. "Mrs. Anderson," Kevin began, "when did you decide to have an affair with Mr. Hanson?" "I didn't decide. It just happened." "Things don't just happen for 2 years, Mrs. Anderson." "When did you first become intimate with him?" She shifted in her seat. "I don't remember exactly." "You don't remember when you started betraying your husband?" "Objection," Gabriel said. "Argumentative." "Withdrawn." Kevin didn't miss a beat. "Mrs. Anderson, the secret bank account. When did you open it?" I needed my own money." "Why?" "For independence." "Independence?" Kevin pulled out a folder. "You didn't have a job. Where did this money come from?" "Thomas gave me an allowance." "An allowance you were supposed to use for household expenses, correct?" "I guess." "But instead you put it in a secret account and used it for what?" Kevin slid bank statements across the table. I'd seen them before. Morgan had highlighted every purchase in yellow. "Let's see," Kevin said, reading. $3,000 at Cartier, $5,000 at Louis Vuitton, multiple spa visits at $500 each. Hotel rooms at the Ritz-Carlton." He looked up. "Were these household expenses, Mrs. Anderson?" "Objection." "Which household expense was the Cartier bracelet for?" Kevin continued. "Which room in the house needed the Louis Vuitton bag?" "Objection. Badgering." The Ritz-Carlton rooms. Were those for household maintenance? Jasmine's face went red. Those were... You stole marital funds to finance an affair and a luxury lifestyle. Correct? I didn't steal. What would you call taking money under false pretenses and hiding it? Gabriel objected 5 more times in the next hour. It didn't matter. The damage was done. That evening, Kevin called me. Gabriel wants to settle, he said. I smiled. Already? They know they're losing. The morning after Jasmine's deposition, Kevin called. Gabriel wants to talk settlement, he said. That was fast. Get over here. I want you to hear this. 20 minutes later, I was sitting in Kevin's office when his phone rang. He put it on speaker. Kevin, Gabriel's voice came through. I've discussed options with my client. We're prepared to make a reasonable offer. I'm listening. Mrs. Anderson will accept $500,000 and waive all claims to the business. I almost laughed. Kevin's expression didn't change. Your client has no claims to the business, Kevin said calmly. It was started before the marriage. The growth occurred during the marriage. She's entitled to compensation. Compensation? Kevin leaned forward. For what exactly? Stealing money? Having an affair? Mr. Sanders, be reasonable. We can fight this out at trial or we can settle. $500,000 is generous considering she committed financial fraud? Kevin interrupted. You're right, it is generous. My client offers $50,000 as a complete buyout. She keeps whatever personal items she removed from the house. That's it. Silence on the other end. Then Gabriel sputtered, $50,000? That's insulting. It's $50,000 more than she deserves, Kevin said. I have 8 hours of deposition testimony showing her lies. I have financial records proving theft. I have photographs of her continued affair. What do you have, Gabriel? California's no-fault statute? He paused. Good luck explaining to a judge why your client deserves hundreds of thousands after what she did. We'll see you in court. The line went dead. I looked at Kevin. Think he'll convince her to take it? Not a chance. Kevin closed the file. She still thinks she's going to win big. He was right. 2 days later, Gabriel sent a formal rejection letter. Then we go to trial, Kevin said when he called to tell me, and we bury her. While Kevin prepared for trial, I started putting my life back together. First order of business. Derek. I called him on a Wednesday morning. Thomas, he answered. His voice sounded thin, scared. We need to discuss your exit from the company. Look, I know things are complicated. They're not complicated at all. You're selling me your share. The question is how much you're getting for it. Silence. I could drag this out, I continued. Make it public. Tell every client we have exactly what you did. But I'd rather just be done with you. So here's the deal. I'm offering you 40 cents on the dollar. Take it or leave it. That's not fair market value. Fair? My voice went cold. You want to talk about fair? I have enough evidence to destroy your reputation in this industry. I have hotel receipts with your name on them. I have Nelson's photos. Take the offer, Derek. He took it, signed the papers that Friday without another word. Kevin set the trial date, 3 months out. That gave us time to prepare and gave me time to... What? Heal? That wasn't happening. But I could at least remind myself there was life beyond this nightmare. I started dating. Nothing serious. Coffee with a woman I met at a networking event. Dinner with someone from my gym. Just normal conversations that didn't revolve around betrayal and divorce proceedings. It helped. A little. Nelson kept tabs on Jasmine through it all. She's running out of money, he reported 2 weeks before trial. Derek dumped her last week. Good. Said she was too high maintenance. Nelson chuckled. Karma's working overtime. What's she doing now? Bouncing between friends' couches. Nobody wants to deal with her drama for long. I should have felt satisfaction, victory, something. Instead, I just felt tired. Keep watching her, I told Nelson. I want to know if she tries anything. Will do. After he hung up, I sat in my office. Not the home office where I'd found her with Derek. I'd converted a bedroom in my apartment and stared at the wall. 3 months felt like forever. I just wanted this finished. 2 weeks before trial, Kevin came over to review testimony. We spread case files across my dining table, depositions, financial records, photographs, everything we needed to bury Jasmine in court. The judge is going to see right through her, Kevin said, flipping through Morgan's forensic analysis. 8 hours of deposition where she contradicted herself repeatedly. The secret accounts, the affair documentation. Gabriel doesn't have a prayer. I nodded. studying Jasmine's banking statements. $80,000 gone, spent on jewelry and hotel rooms, and the doorbell rang. Once, twice, then continuously, someone leaning on it. I checked the security camera on my phone. Jasmine. She looked terrible. Hair uncombed, makeup smeared down her cheeks, designer clothes wrinkled like she'd slept in them. She was pounding on the door with one fist while pressing the bell with the other. "Don't answer it," Kevin said immediately. I watched her on the screen. She wasn't leaving, just kept ringing, pounding, her face twisted up. "She'll wake the neighbors." I grabbed my phone, opened the recording app. "I'm documenting this." Kevin stood. "Thomas." I opened the door, phone up, camera running. "We need to talk," Jasmine said. Her voice came out ragged, desperate. "We have nothing to discuss. Speak to my lawyer." "Thomas, please." She stepped closer. I could smell alcohol on her breath. "I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry about everything. Can we work this out? You had Derek. Work it out with him. He left me." The words exploded out of her. "Everyone's left me. My friends, my family. They all think I'm some kind of monster." "You are. I made mistakes." "People make mistakes. You made calculated decisions for 2 years," I said. My voice stayed flat, cold. "That's not a mistake." Her face crumpled. "I'll drop the lawsuit. I'll take whatever you want to give me. Just, please. I have nothing. I'm living out of my car, Thomas. My car." For a second, just a second, I almost felt something. Then I remembered her face when she told me I was a good investment, when she laughed about cashing out. "Should have thought of that before you fucked my business partner on my desk." Everything changed. The desperation vanished, replaced by something harder, colder. "You bastard!" Her voice shook. "You're enjoying this. I'm ending this. There's a difference." "Ending this?" She stepped forward and I held my ground. "You've destroyed me. You turned everyone against me." "No, Jasmine. You destroyed yourself. I just made sure everyone knew about it." Her hands clenched into fists. "You're going to pay for this." Her voice dropped, went quiet and sharp. "One way or another, you're going to pay." "Is that a threat?" "It's a promise." I held up my phone, turned the screen so she could see the recording icon. "Noted. Now get off my property before I call the police." She stared at the phone, then at me, and I saw something in her eyes that made my stomach tighten. Not just desperation anymore. This was unhinged, broken. "You'll regret this," she whispered. She turned and stumbled down my front steps. I watched her get into a beat-up Honda, nothing like the luxury SUV she used to drive. She sat there for a moment, hands on the wheel, staring straight ahead. Then she drove off. I closed the door, locked it. "You should get a restraining order," Kevin said. He'd moved to the window, watching her taillights disappear. "Let's see if she tries anything first." "Thomas?" 3 days until trial. She's desperate, not stupid." But even as I said it, I wasn't sure I believed it. Kevin gathered his files. "Lock your doors, set your alarm, and if she comes back, you call the police immediately. Don't engage." "I won't." After he left, I stood at my window for a long time. The street was quiet, empty, but I couldn't shake the look in Jasmine's eyes, that cold promise. "You're going to pay for this." 3 days before trial, I was still at the office at 10 p.m. Morgan had come by to go over the financials one last time, make sure every number was bulletproof. "You're solid," she said, packing up her laptop. "They've got nothing to counter with." "Good." She headed out. I locked up, took the elevator down to the parking garage, nearly empty at this hour. Just my car and maybe 3 others scattered across the concrete expanse. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead. My footsteps echoed. Then I heard it. Heels, clicking on concrete, fast, running. I turned. Jasmine, face twisted, eyes wild, something in her hand, metal catching the light. A knife. "You ruined my life!" she screamed. She lunged. Years of martial arts training, nothing serious, just weekend classes, kicked in before I could think. I sidestepped, grabbed her wrist, twisted. The knife clattered to the ground, but she didn't stop. Her free hand came up, nails raking across my face. "I'll kill you. You deserve to die." I shoved her back, hard. She stumbled, fell. I kicked the knife away, sent it skittering across the concrete, and pulled out my phone. 911, what's your emergency?" "I'm being attacked in the parking garage at—" Jasmine got up, rushed me again. I caught her arms, held her at distance. She was sobbing now, hysterical, thrashing against my grip. "I have nothing. You took everything. I hate you. Ma'am, what's your location? The dispatcher asked. I gave the address. Jasmine kept screaming, incomprehensible now, just rage and tears. Footsteps pounded toward us, security guard, radio in hand. Sir, step back. Then sirens, red and blue lights washing across the garage walls. 2 officers, a man and a woman, separated us. The woman took Jasmine, who was still shrieking threats I couldn't make out anymore. Sir, are you hurt? The male officer asked. Young guy, nameplate reading Brennan. I touched my face. Felt wetness, scratches, bleeding slightly. She had a knife. Where? I pointed. Another officer was already there, 20 feet away, photographing it. Don't touch it, Brennan called over. The other officer, older, gray-haired, name Caldwell on his uniform, looked up. Got it. Prints all over the handle. Jasmine was sobbing now. He destroyed me. I had to do something. He took everything. Officer Brennan looked at me. You want to press charges? Attempted murder. Assault with a deadly weapon. Whatever applies. He nodded. We'll need your statement. I watched them put Jasmine in handcuffs. Her makeup ran down her face in black streaks. She looked at me, really looked at me, and something in her expression crumbled. This is your fault, she screamed as they led her toward the patrol car. All of this is your fault. Officer Brennan pulled out a notebook. Let's start from the beginning, Mr. Anderson. What time did you leave your office? The morning after the parking garage attack, I sat in Judge Whitmore's courtroom again. Different circumstances this time. Jasmine was in jail, awaiting criminal trial. But the divorce proceedings? Those were still moving forward. Gabriel Jensen looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. He stood before the bench, shoulders tight, trying to salvage something from the wreckage. Your Honor, he began, my client's mental state has clearly deteriorated due to the extreme stress of these proceedings. Kevin didn't let him finish. Your Honor, Mrs. Anderson attacked my client with a deadly weapon. She threatened to kill him. This isn't stress. This is criminal behavior stemming from entitlement and rage that her scheme failed. Judge Whitmore sat behind her bench, a stack of files in front of her. She'd reviewed everything by this point. The affair, the financial infidelity, the secret accounts, 8 hours of deposition testimony, and now, the attempted murder charge. She looked at Gabriel. Mr. Jensen, does your client have anything to say in her defense? A screen flickered to life on the courtroom wall. Video feed from the county jail. Jasmine appeared. Orange jumpsuit. No makeup. Hair pulled back in a limp ponytail. She looked terrible. Hollow-eyed, skin pale under the fluorescent lighting. I'd spent 6 years married to this woman. Right now, I barely recognized her. I just wanted what was fair, Jasmine said. Her voice came through small, tinny. He was punishing me for the affair. I got desperate. Judge Whitmore's expression didn't change. So, you tried to kill him? Jasmine's eyes dropped. I wasn't thinking clearly. Clearly. Judge Whitmore looked down at her notes. Mrs. Anderson, I've presided over thousands of divorce cases in my career. Thousands. I have never seen such a clear pattern of deception, fraud, and ultimately violence. Gabriel opened his mouth. Your Honor, if I may, you may not. Judge Whitmore's voice cut like a blade. I've heard enough. She looked directly at the camera, at Jasmine on screen. You systematically defrauded your husband. You betrayed his trust. You stole marital assets. And when faced with the consequences of your actions, consequences you earned, you attempted to murder him. The courtroom was silent. You know that kind of quiet where even breathing feels too loud? That's what this was. Judge Whitmore continued. Mr. Anderson, I'm granting you full dissolution of marriage with prejudice. Mrs. Anderson receives nothing. No alimony, no division of assets, nothing. On screen, Jasmine's face went white. Furthermore, Judge Whitmore said, she is ordered to repay the $80,000 she stole, plus interest and legal fees. Mr. Sanders, draft the order. Kevin nodded. Thank you, Your Honor. Jasmine's face crumpled. This isn't fair. Judge Whitmore looked at her for a long moment. Life isn't fair, Mrs. Anderson. You should have learned that before you attacked someone with a knife. She brought down her gavel. This court is adjourned. The screen went dark. I sat there, letting it sink in. It was over. The divorce. Completely over. Jasmine got nothing. Less than nothing. She owed me money she'd never be able to pay back. Kevin put a hand on my shoulder. You won. Yeah. You don't sound happy about it. I looked at him. I'm relieved. There's a difference. We walked out of the courtroom together. Gabriel Jensen brushed past us without a word, his briefcase clutched tight. Outside, the morning sun felt too bright. I'd barely slept after giving my statement to the police last night. The scratches on my face throbbed under the bandages. What happens now? I asked Kevin. Now? You rebuild. The divorce is done. The criminal trial will take care of itself. The prosecution has video evidence, your testimony, the knife with her prints. She's going to prison, Thomas. I nodded slowly. How long until trial? Criminal? Probably a few weeks. They'll want to move fast with evidence this clear. The weeks passed in a strange blur. I threw myself into work. Easier to focus on code and contracts than think about everything that had happened. Nelson checked in once to tell me Derek had left the state entirely. Heard he's in Arizona now. New job, new life. Good riddance. Morgan finalized the buyout paperwork. The company was fully mine again. No partners, no complications. And then, 6 weeks after the parking garage, I got the call from the district attorney's office. Mr. Anderson, this is the DA's office. The criminal trial starts Monday. We'll need you to testify. I looked at the calendar on my desk. Monday, 3 days away. I'll be there. Monday morning, I walked into the courthouse for Jasmine's criminal trial. The building felt different now, not the civil court where Kevin had fought for my assets. This was the criminal division. Harder edges, security tighter. The stakes weren't money anymore. They were years. Valerie Morrison, the prosecutor, met me outside the courtroom. Sharp woman, maybe early 40s, with the kind of presence that commanded attention. Mr. Anderson, she said, shaking my hand, thank you for coming. We have a strong case, but your testimony will be crucial. Whatever you need. She nodded. The defense is going to try temporary insanity. They'll paint you as the aggressor in the divorce, claim my client snapped under pressure. I need you to stay calm on the stand, stick to the facts. Can you do that? I thought about Jasmine lunging at me with that knife. The rage in her eyes, the scratches on my face that had just finished healing. Yeah, I said. I can do that. The courtroom filled quickly. I sat in the gallery, watching as they brought Jasmine in. Orange jumpsuit again, shackles. She looked smaller somehow, like prison had already started eroding her. She didn't look at me, not once. The trial moved fast. Valerie had built an airtight case, and she knew it. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, she began, the evidence you're about to see is clear and compelling. On the evening of October 15th, the defendant, Jasmine Anderson, waited in a parking garage with a deadly weapon. When her ex-husband arrived, she attacked him. This was not a crime of passion. This was premeditated violence. She played the parking garage video, grainy security footage showing Jasmine rushing at me, knife raised. Me dodging, disarming her coming at me again, screaming. The jury watched in silence. Then came my testimony. Mr. Anderson, Valerie said, can you describe what happened that night? I walked them through it, coming out of my office, hearing footsteps, turning to see Jasmine with the knife, her screaming that I'd ruined her life. What did you do? I defended myself. I have some martial arts training. I grabbed her wrist, twisted until she dropped the knife. Then I called 911. Did she try to attack you again? Yes. While I was on the phone with emergency services, she rushed me again. I had to physically restrain her until security arrived. What was she saying during this time? I met Jasmine's eyes for the first time. She looked away. She said she was going to kill me, that I deserved to die. Valerie showed the knife to the jury, still in its evidence bag. Is this the weapon? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Jasmine's public defender, a tired-looking man named Mark Ostrowski, tried his best with the temporary insanity angle. Mr. Anderson, he said during cross-examination, isn't it true that you humiliated my client during the divorce proceedings? I presented evidence of her fraud and infidelity. You turned her friends and family against her. I told the truth. They made their own decisions. You left her with nothing. No money, no support, sleeping in her car. Doesn't that seem cruel to you? I kept my voice level. She stole from me. She betrayed me. She tried to take half my company. Those were her choices. The consequences were hers too. He tried a few more angles, but nothing stuck. When it was Valerie's turn for redirect, she destroyed the insanity defense completely. Mr. Ostrowski claims my client was under extreme emotional duress, she said to the jury. But the evidence shows something different. Jasmine Anderson didn't snap. She planned this attack. She waited in that parking garage, not outside Mr. Anderson's home, not at his office door, but in a secluded location where she thought she could get away with it. She brought a weapon. She had multiple opportunities to walk away. Instead, she chose violence. The jury deliberated for 90 minutes. When they came back, the forewoman stood. On the charge of assault with a deadly weapon, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of criminal threats, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of attempted murder in the second degree, we find the defendant guilty. Jasmine's face went blank. Empty. The judge, a stern man named Howard Brennan, sentenced her a week later, 8 years in state prison. I watched from the gallery as guards led her away. She looked at me one last time. Not rage anymore, just defeat. Complete and total defeat. I believe stories such as this find us for a reason. If this one touches you, please subscribe. I share a new one every day. In the meantime, there are 2 stories on the screen that are even better.